CTV News at 6 with Hudson Mack.
Good evening. Thank you for being here. We begin this hour with explosive allegations against one of the province's most highly respected citizens, John Furlong, the man given credit for the success of the Vancouver 2010 Olympic Games, accused of physically abusing children at a school in Burns Lake in the late 1960s. The allegations are made in an article published by the Georgia Straight newspaper, and Furlong says the paper and the reporter will see him in court. CTV's Louise Hartland joins us now live with more on the story. Louise.
Hudson, Furlong is clear. He denies all of the allegations against him and says the abuse just didn't happen. He also accuses the freelance reporter who wrote the article of having a personal vendetta against him, and says when the allegations were first brought to his attention before the Olympics, he was told the story could go away for a price.
I want you to know that I categorically deny absolutely any wrongdoing. And I believe that the RCMP, in looking into this matter, will discredit the complaint entirely because it just didn't happen.
Furious, John Furlong reacts to accusations he physically and mentally abused First Nations children in Burns Lake. They come in an article published in the Georgia Straight. The newspaper says it has sworn affidavits from 8 victims who say Furlong was a PE teacher there in the late 60s and early 70s.
I was kicked from behind, like. Even the chief will talk about it. He got it too. Our chief here from Lake Babby, he got it kicked in the butt too by him. So I tell you, there's a lot of abuse that when this goes out, there's going to be a lot of them here already. Burns Lake are getting ready for it.
The article claims Furlong has buried that important part of his past. In his book, Patriot Hearts, he writes of coming to Canada in 1974, but doesn't refer to his earlier time in the country.
So why no mention of Burns Lake in my book? My time in Burns Lake was fairly brief and fairly uneventful. I went back to Ireland and came to Canada years later as a landed immigrant.
Friends of Furlong say they are shocked at the allegations.
I felt sick reading that stuff. I mean, you read it and you think that does not line up in any way, shape, or form with the John Furlong I know. So I'm just in shock, and I'm just, confident that it's, not true.
Mason says he never heard Furlong talk about his time in northern BC.
A previous time in Canada before 1974 was never mentioned in our conversations that became part of the book. So that part I think John will probably explain as well, I guess.
Furlong calls the article a personal attack.
As a result of inaccurate reporting, I feel that my character has been recklessly challenged, and I have no choice now but to proceed with legal action. It is also beyond all belief that the Georgia Straight newspaper did not place a single call to me to validate any of the elements of this story.
Furlong also accuses the reporter involved of having a personal vendetta against him. He says he was offered a chance to keep the allegations quiet.
On the very first occasion that this was brought to my attention, prior to the Olympic Games, I was advised that for a payment, it could be made to go away. And as such, I reported the matter to the police.
RCMP say they are aware of the allegations involving Furlong and are now investigating, but will provide no further comment. Furlong and his legal team say they will sue the Georgia Straight and the freelance reporter Laura Robinson, who works out of Ontario, who wrote the story. Furlong adds that it is beyond all belief that the Georgia Straight did not place a single call to him to validate the elements in the story. The paper says the reporter did try to contact him, but was turned away several times. Furlong finished by saying he still has friends in Burns Lake and has been there many times without incident for speaking engagements with the First Nations delegation prior to the Olympics and, of course, during the Olympic torch relay.
All right, Louise Hartland reporting. Louise, thank you.
You're welcome.